Good morning. So, as you can see yesterday, the trim upstairs came down. Huge shout out to Sin for helping me with that. Really knocked it out of the park here. But that is a lot of trim. And for the most part, it came down pretty good. Probably 80% of it's still usable. So, it's all here. Heck, even got some full door frames, which means that I can really start clearing this plaster. And that's probably one of the hardest things to do when the trim is on there. So that's pretty exciting. This trim that's still up here on the ceilings, it's kind of garbage. It's just a cheap trim from Lowe's or Home Depot or something like that. One of those hardware stores it's nothing special. So I'll just be ripping that off as fast as I can and getting rid of it. Also broke through the wall over here to get to check out our chimney and kind of do some inspection on it and see how it is. Still debating on whether to save the chimney or just try and remove it. Really, it's a lot of work and a lot more labor, but also to have it there when it's not functional and then you've got to maintain it, and it also takes up space in the house that could be used for something else, kind of doesn't make sense. So still weighing the whole to take it out, to not take it out, because one thing I liked was the idea was if we look at these stairs as they come up and you come around this corner, there's a chimney there, but what if this staircase spanned this whole width? So you had this nice big staircase that came up and went around the corner up into the attic space that's just so gorgeous and absolutely needs to be used. Because then ideally, for most of the new gas stuff, you don't need a huge fireplace. So still kind of on our minds, still kind of thinking about that, trying to figure it out and see where we're going to go with it. Still playing it by ear. Realistically, once we get this wall down and we're down to just the studs, we'll be able to really inspect it and get a closer eye. Maybe get some professionals over here and get their opinions on it. Now, trim. Everybody wants to keep the original trim. It is beautiful. It is gorgeous. It's been there for a long time, so let's keep it. However, this is just the trim for the upstairs. And that's not even all of it. Like, I've still got above this door, in the door frames, in the moldings there. I still have trim here. So that's a lot of trim. We're gonna go down to the basement. I'm gonna show you the trim room because we have the trim from downstairs, down there. And it is so much trim. And here's the thing, and here's the question that I keep going to is, all of this trim that's in here, that's here, that's all over here, it's all been painted over. And for me to save it, I would have to strip it down using chemicals of some sort, which is messy, it's nasty. It also costs some money. And the question is, from a financial standpoint, is it cheaper for me to get some custom router bits or have custom trim made in the exact same pattern as this trim, right? So you send off a small piece of that trim, they make you a router bit for it, and then you can make as much trim as you want and remake it out of new lumber. So the question is, what's more cost effective and what's a better use of our time, right? So we maintain the character of the house with new lumber and new pieces and new parts in there versus trying, because there's no guarantee that we're going to be able to save all that trim, trying to save that trim. And also, since we weren't able to get it all off, I have to have some made anyways or change the trim out in at least one or two rooms because I'm going to run out of trim as I start going around the house. So these are just things we're thinking about, trying to figure out the route we're going to go. Not entirely certain there, but it's a fun process and it's really interesting to find out how it all works. As far as clearing, I got all of that down, but if you take a close look at that beam, it's not quite straight and level. It's got a little bit of a bow to it. And that's because these 2x4s that are here, well, that was because if you look right there, you can see that's our stop to the pocket door that was here. So this is a semi-load bearing wall. It's not like the end all be all, but we're gonna have to replace those posts and jack it up. So that'll be coming up in the next episode, and I don't know, probably about a week or so. Gonna have to jack that up and get new beams underneath it. So I spent a lot of time like looking at that yesterday and figuring out what we're gonna do with it. The next question we've kind of wondered is this a live cast pipe? Haven't figured that out either yet. So definitely got to figure that out. If it is, we're going to have to shut the gas off, vent it all, and then cap it and remove it down in the basement where it comes from. So keep finding these little things. None of them are like anything crazy. There's no massive deal breakers here or anything like that. It's just lots of little things that you have to figure out as you go through a house like this. And everyone saw my video yesterday, and I talked about how much of a pain in the ass demo is. I cannot overstate that enough, is that taking a house down that's drywall or breaking that down to studs is nothing compared to literally scraping rocks, because that's basically what this plaster is, off a wall, carting it out to a truck or to a chute, and then having to take that to a dump. And then after you're done carting those rocks out, you got to take all these little bitty pieces off the wall and then get rid of that also. It is time consuming and exhausting. But the cool thing is, it's just neat to see it all and neat to see how it all works. And then on the other side, to see how they used to build it back in the day and realize that they did all that by hand. There was no nail guns or anything like that, which is why this house took so long to build. So we know that this house was started in 1899. And you want to know how we know? Because when I got into the ceiling over there, I found this. This is a newspaper from that time frame. And you can see 1899 right there and August 13th right there. So this is the Sunday, August 13th, 1899 newspaper. How cool is that? And if we go, you could have bought a pair of Oxford tie shoes for $3 back then. $3. That was a lot of money though. So this house took a long time to build. And it's really interesting as we tear it down to find all of that stuff. And then also realize that a lot of this wasn't done with like crazy machinery and all that. So regardless of all the hard work, it's still amazing to watch and see it. And regardless of all the hard decisions that are going to have to be made and come up and figuring everything out and getting slack from people that are like, you should restore it. It needs to be 100% original. And well, it's not their house. So anyways, I appreciate everyone watching. I appreciate all of the help and everyone that's been looking at this. And, you know, for this is our first little structural issue we found. I know there's a couple of engineers that are watching this. So, yeah, do with that what you will. Again, I appreciate everyone watching, and y'all are great. I'll probably be going public with these videos in the next few days so that anybody that wants to see them can see them. So feel free to share the links and send them out. I appreciate all the comments and the interest in this. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow.